What's going on, everyone? Welcome to our last episode of Beach Sports. This is the final episode of the spring semester, sadly, but we're here to make it a memorable finale of the first season. And I am joined today by two great guests, sports editor Thomas Murray and sports editor assistant Matthew Brown. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
I'm doing
you, Christian.
Good, good. How about you, Maddie? How you doing?
Yeah, we're doing good. Thank you. It's good to be back on for the last episode. I'm pretty excited to get into it.
Yeah, so let's go right into it. It's great to have you guys on board, and it's been a great spring season for Long Beach State Athletics. Let's start off with some baseball. Matt, you and I interviewed Coach Valenzuela in the first episode of this series, and he told us that he had high hopes for the team, especially like considering how COVID restrictions had such an impact on his team last season, cutting it short. A couple of guys falling out of the roster and stuff. But how do you think the team has fared this spring?
Yeah, so it's definitely been kind of a mixed bag. I'm sure not the way Coach Valenzuela hoped the season kind of would have gone. They've sort of been a little streaky. They'll go on they'll sweep a series and then go get swept the next series. It's sort of been kind of up and down. And I'm sure Valenzuela would tell you that it's not what the team exactly wants. They're not in a bad position by any means. They're right now they're 5-7 in conference, so there's still a lot of time to make up ground on. I think Santa Barbara is in first place, and they're going to play them in their next series, so they can definitely make up some ground on them. Lately, it's been a little tough. They've lost. They're on a 6-game losing streak, I believe. So right now, they're definitely in the tough part of a bad streak. So they're definitely going to look to turn it around. But yeah, definitely a mixed bag so far.
Now, I know, Thomas, you went to their previous game on, Wednesday at Blair Field. They lost to Fresno State by a run, 4-3. Give us some of your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, honestly, man, I think the thing that's, from what I saw in that game was, there needed to be I feel like the communication could have been amongst the players, amongst themselves. There's some plays that allowed for extra runners to get on base and stuff, and just they unfortunately fell into some jams into some innings, where they could have got out of it pretty quick, but here was a bad throw, maybe somebody didn't call something, call a ball, and it just led to more unfortunate things happening, where now you have more runners getting on base and just really leading to more jams. And that was kind of the story of the game. But I mean, hitting wise, they got better as the game went on. I thought Jack Noble pitched pretty well, minus the first inning. He had a rough first inning, but in the second inning, pitched pretty well. Third inning, I believe he was still there. Yeah, it was a tough loss for them for sure.
Now, moving on to basketball, basketball had great seasons, both men's and women's. A lot of things going on with men's, going on to the Big West tournament and all that. Give me your guys' thoughts on basketball. What you guys think about basketball this spring?
Definitely, yeah. It was definitely sort of a turnaround for this team, and you can say that for a lot of the sports here this semester. It was a big turnaround, a big step up for expectations from last year. They proved that this is a good team now. There's been issues in the past, with the kind of the culture, sort of some not the best records. But this year they finally turned it around and proved Long Beach State is we're a good basketball team. We're a good basketball program. We deserve to be talked about at least nationally a little bit. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely agreeing with Matt. It's interesting when the game started getting canceled. It kind of worked out really well for the basketball team because I feel like it was a moment the team could go ahead and collect themselves, rediscover who they are. And then, you saw that right away. I think they came back, lost the first game back, and then they went on that incredible win streak where it started against UC Santa Barbara, where it was 11 games, and coincidentally enough, it ended against UC Santa Barbara. But even as the season went on, you saw a lot of young guys start to step up. Jaden, who's a redshirt sophomore, so he's been in the program for about 3 years. He got the extra year because of COVID, and that comes with that. And then you saw Traore start to step up and become like, the star player for the beach and everything. And, you definitely see the young guys starting to step up later in the season. And, even with losing Colin Slater and potentially losing Joel Murray, if he gets drafted, if he comes back, find out after the summer, what his decision is. The team is definitely in good hands moving forward. Coach Monson's getting the guys, that fit right for him. And I think, they're going to be in good hands going forward.
Mm-hmm. And I think the same could kind of be to be said about women's basketball as well. Sort of the same thing. They have a couple graduating. Maddie Udy is the big piece. They're going to be losing the senior. She's done after this year, and then they might lose Justina King. I believe she entered the portal or the transfer portal, so she might be gone. But they still have Makai Berry, Jasmine Hardy. They still got some young people on the team that, even though they might lose a couple pieces, that it's still a good basketball program moving forward.
Now, one of the teams that have definitely turned around their season as well has been softball. Softball, they started out very bad on the slopes, and they've won a lot of their games in this month. They just came off a sweep of UC Santa Barbara, and in 2 games of that series, they swept the Gauchos. So what do you guys think about softball, the big turnaround?
Yeah, it definitely, once conference started, once conference started, it seemed everything started to turn around. Like you said, they kind of got off to a slow start. It was sort of against non-conference teams. But once they started getting to the rhythm of playing those double headers like they usually do, I feel like they just need to get into a swing of things. And once the conference started, it definitely has turned around. I think their record is now they're 12-3 in conference, which is really impressive.
Yeah, definitely. And, one of the things I talked about with Coach Souter at the beginning of the season was, you schedule a lot of these, very good teams, top-ranked teams in the country on purpose. He's like, to kind of get the team the best look possible, to get them ready for conference play. And regardless of, what their record showed heading into conference play, this team was definitely ready to go, going into Big West play. You're seeing a lot of you're seeing the seniors stepping up. You're seeing the freshman, Jacqueline Vicar, stepping up. She's been Big West Player of the Week a couple times now. Definitely a candidate for Freshman Player of the Year for the conference, So you're seeing a lot of that out of the team. And honestly, it's pretty similar to what the team did last year, where they got hot and they're neck and neck with Cal State Fullerton. And we're seeing that now, too. I think Long Beach is a game or 2 ahead on the Titans.
Definitely a big turnaround for softball. Now, the big team on campus right now, the hot team on campus, is definitely men's volleyball. Men's volleyball right now, actually at the time that we're recording this, are going to start their game against number 5 UC Irvine in Hawaii. What do you guys think?
Yes.
You guys think we can bring another championship home?
I believe so. I think we're going in. We're the number 1 seed, so I definitely think we have a good chance. All year they've proved they're a good team. They have, Mason Briggs. They have, they have Alex Nikoloff. They got Knipe as their setter. They're a complete team, and a lot of them were there, or some of them were there when they did win it in 2018, 2019. So they do have some experience. They got some, with Nikoloff, who is probably gonna be freshman player of the year. Possibly, player of the year. I don't see why not us, again.
Yeah, definitely. Nikolov, he's having an incredible year. Screw Big West freshman player of the year, national player of the year is what I see out of him. The other night he had 17 kills in one of the games. He pretty much played a whole game himself and scored. He put up incredible numbers. He's been very good for them. And then now he's starting to shine from the serving standpoint. He's starting to shine from the defensive standpoint. This guy's been really good for Long Beach. It's crazy, too, because there is some skepticism can they repeat, because they're very young and, everything that happened. But they're showing hey, we're here. We're still ready to go. I think Coach Knight's done a great job getting this team ready, and it's scary to think about what's to come in the future with them too, especially with having Nikolov, because he's only getting better and better every year.
Yeah, and those future teams to come, they're just gonna build around Nikolov and even Aiden Knight, like a bunch of those younger guys. This team is only, like you guys said, it's only gonna get better. So I definitely think that they could bring a championship home, maybe even 2 in a row, like they did in 18 and 19. But
yeah, exactly. Who wouldn't like that? Back to back.
Yeah, no, definitely. This team can definitely win national championship. I got a good feeling about this weekend for them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One thing I would say is for a lot of I would say I would apply this to every team is, just bringing fans back has been a big help. Just like packed house cheering on the home teams. I feel like the athletes missed that. The ones that were kind of able to play last year, they really didn't have fans in the stands. So I think being fully back on campus, having the Pyramids sell out with, or 4,000 seats, 4,000 seats, 4,000 plus people cheering on for Long Beach. I think that's also been a big part, with the success this semester for our sports teams.
It's funny that you mentioned that because when I spoke to Andy Fee, he said that one of the big things that he thinks brought, ticket sales up is because of COVID. COVID was to blame for that too, in the sense that, a lot of fans missed it. A lot of fans missed the environment of going to games and, just cheering on the home team. So
yeah, exactly.
So I think definitely, like it's just that hunger for the games and watching the team win was definitely a big reason why I think ticket sales went up so much.
Exactly, and for like people like me, I'm a transfer student, so my first year I never got to watch really. I got to watch a couple of games, but because I was with the Daily 49er. But a lot of transfers, they weren't able to experience that. This is the first year they can experience what Long Beach State athletics have to offer.
Yeah, and it's also a good sense. It kind of brings a good ambient to the Long Beach State community, because it kind of shows us that we're headed in somewhat of a good direction in terms of the pandemic and all that stuff. So I think it definitely does help the athletic department in that way, that we're bringing a lot of fans back into the stands and stuff. And I mean, if men's volleyball does go to the championship game, it just shows how crazy the campus will go if they end up winning.
Yeah, it's the championship is at Westwood, I think.
UCLA,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of Long Beach fans, will make the drive if we do get that far.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think too, with Long Beach compared to a lot of other Big West schools from the time that I've seen, is the school definitely gets a lot of support from their fans. I mean, I think they're one of the top 30 schools in fan attendance for baseball. I mean, you can look at the athletics departments like socials and stuff, and you'll see, a men's water polo game full. You'll see a women's water polo game full. Even with the Big West tournament hunt, I noticed there was definitely a fan size increase for men's basketball versus, Cal State Fullerton and UCI, who were just as much in the neck of winning it all as much as Long Beach was. So, yeah, definitely I could expect to see a packed house for Long Beach if they make it to the national championship. It's not that far from the school, so would be a good home field advantage for them for sure.
Yeah, that would be.
Now, most of us here on the podcast are about to end our time as students and as student journalists. Do you guys have any last words to say to any of our audience listening?
Just thank you for reading our content, listening to the podcast, supporting, the Daily 49er athletics. I mean, our school is in a good spot right now. The past couple of years, I think even Andy Fee would admit that we're at the best couple of years, but that's why he was brought in to, make sure this program is top notch. And, to all the seniors, athletes that are graduating, good luck with whatever you do in the future. If they're looking to get drafted, I hope they get drafted and nothing but success for them.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you to the athletics department for everything they did to help us this year. Thank you, Andy, Roger, Lane D, Colin. All of you guys have been amazing athletes. Thanks for all these memorable moments. It's been so much fun working on the 49er this year for sure, doing sports editing. It's been like a dream come true. I've had a lot of fun. I'm really thankful for it. Really thankful for everyone I got to meet too during it. It's been great. A lot of great moments too. Long Beach Days definitely in good hands moving forward though in their athletics, and it's going to be fun to see in the future.
It definitely will be. And thank you guys so much for coming on this last episode. It was great to have you guys as always. Thomas, Matt, a pleasure.
Of course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christian, for this semester.
Christian.
Amazing semester.
It's been great, buddy.
Oh, it's been great, man. Long Beach State athletics, man. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to cover and so much fun to tell. But
it definitely is, yes.
Yeah, but thank you so much to everybody for listening. This is the last time we'll be here to tell about it. Matt, Thomas.
Thank you, Christian.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys, and thank you to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Christian.
A big thank you to Thomas Murray and Matthew Brown for being with us on the last episode. Thank you guys so much. We move on now to Andy Fee, Long Beach State Athletic Director, who came on the last episode, as he has always came in for us, to go ahead and discuss his thoughts on Long Beach State spring sports. Awesome. Thank you much, sir. One more time for having you on the show today, Mr. Andy Fee. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to speak with you, and hope all is well in your neck of the woods.
Thank you so much. Let's start off with your reactions of this spring semester. In your opinion, what's been some of the things that you've been most impressed by in the athletic department?
Well, I think it's just the resiliency of our student athletes and coaches as we kind of hopefully continue to transition out of where we were for 2 years with COVID. We've had teams resume, but in those last 2 years, there was such limited activity. So, getting back into the swing of things, so to speak, has been a challenge, I think, for some, that where we used to grind away every day and, it's workouts in the weight room and on the field competition. Well, during COVID, we had no access to locker rooms. We couldn't go inside the gym to do weightlifting and strength and conditioning. So I think what I've been most impressed with is how they've bounced back and been really successful across the board.
Now, one of the things that has definitely skyrocketed have been ticket sales. We've really had a lot of sellouts. Men's basketball got a few, volleyball as well had a few, and even the dirtbags as well. What do you think helped garner so much attendance by our fans?
Well, I think people missed it. A lot of times in life you don't really realize how much you miss things till they're gone. And during COVID, we had no fans for the most part. And at the end of last year, we had a few hundred fans we could allow into certain events with social distancing, et cetera. So I think fans have really, over time, missed sports in general. And certainly our local community missed Long Beach State athletics. So that's why I think we've had a really great uptick in ticket sales and interaction with our boosters and our fans. And the local community, it's been great. And I know our student athletes are just so appreciative and missed, hearing all the cheering and support.
Definitely. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the men's volleyball quest for the Big West tournament win. I know at the moment, for those that don't know, you're currently in Hawaii to support the team. I know Hawaii is also familiar territory to head coach Alan Knipe and his staff. How do you think the team will fare in the tournament as they proceed to win another championship?
Well, it's always a battle, and the Big West Men's Volleyball Conference is arguably the best conference in America. The best way I describe it for fans listening, if they're not familiar, it's kind of the SEC football of volleyball, meaning we have 3 teams in the top 5 in the country, us, Santa Barbara, and Hawaii. So it's the best of the best every single match. So coming to Hawaii, we have a bye until Friday where we'll play in the semifinals. Don't know who we're going to face just yet. The other side of the bracket is Hawaii waiting as well. So you'd like to think there's going to be a Saturday night huge battle in the Stan Sheriff Center, which is a really tough place to play. They're going to get 10,000 fans probably in that thing. But our guys love it. We love to play the best. To be the best, you gotta beat the best. So I'm really excited. They're playing well, pretty healthy right now. We took 2 of 2. We swept them in Long Beach, Hawaii. So, but you never know. But I think we're really optimistic with where we stand today.
Are you easy to say that perhaps we could bring home another championship this year?
We certainly have the talent. Obviously we got to go out there Friday night, take care of business, and then, as soon as we do that, show up on Saturday and take care of business. But if we do those things, we are more than capable of winning a Big West championship, knowing that we're going to have to beat, 2 of some of the best teams in the country. But, we like where we are. And, the goal is to bring a trophy home for the fans and the community.
Now, what message do you have for your graduating student athletes, as well as any graduating seniors from the school that have supported Long Beach State sports?
Well, it's obviously best wishes. It's been a challenge, as I keep saying, for everybody, certainly students who've gone through COVID and, probably started their academic career with in-person, kind of what I guess I'll call it the normal academic setting. And then suddenly, on Zoom, on computers, distance learning. So, I really talk to our student athletes and to any student out there, I'd say you've been able to succeed. You've been able to achieve, be successful in some of the toughest times.
Yes.
So when you hit those hurdles and, life's all about hurdles, it's never going to stop. That's life, unfortunately, in a lot of ways. But, just know you can do it. Believe in yourself. Know that you're prepared. You've got a great degree from one of the best universities in the country. And hopefully, we'll stay connected. They'll follow us, the students out there, and then the student athletes, obviously, whether they're going to go on and play professionally or, be professional in something else. We're just going to cheer them on and support them. But, we're very thankful for the support, and, we're always honored to represent our students.
Now, is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to in the upcoming fall?
Well, I think, we've got a new women's volleyball head coach, Tyler Hildebrand, who's come back to the university, having played here on the men's side, and recently was with the University of Nebraska and won a national championship as assistant coach with them in 2017. And they were in the Final Four this year. So we've got a brand new coach and staff. I'm really excited to see how they do. They've gotten some really great commitments, and they're looking at some really good transfer talent to come in. And, without getting too far ahead, I think they're very excited, and their goal is to chase and compete for a Big West championship. So watch them kind of go. Women's soccer, I know they're going to have a really good roster. They've had their spring games going on right now. Men's water polo last season was a great year, conference champions, NCAA tournament, and then our cross-country programs, which I know as well have some really great recruits coming in. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of talent coming to the beach in the fall, and I'm excited to see what they can do. So, it's all a process, right? You were just talking about graduating, student athletes and students leaving, and now a new group is coming in. So excited to see what that new group can do.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Andy Fee, for always being available to us and coming on the show, talking to us. Me personally, getting to know you this spring has been amazing. And this might be the last time I speak to you, at least on the podcast, right? So it's been a pleasure, and I want to thank you for always being available to us.
Well, Christian, best wishes to you. Certainly gonna be excited to watch your journey, and hopefully we'll have many discussions down the road. But as always, thank you and all the students and the listeners out there for supporting beach athletics.
Once again, thank you to Andy Fee for being on this very last episode. From a personal note, it's been a great pleasure being able to host, produce, and edit some of these podcasts, especially the series Beach Sports. Thank you so much. I want to shout out all my members of our Daily 49ers staff, Cindy Aguilera, Layla Nunez, for always making these podcasts possible. Couldn't have done it without them. And to the whole entire staff and all of Long Beach State Athletics, thank you guys so much. All of our audience for listening, thank you for such an amazing spring semester. I've been your host, Christian Vasquez. Don't forget to check out more Daily 49er content at daily49er.com, as well as all of our social media at Daily 49er. Thank you, everybody. We'll leave you now with some amazing organist play at the Dirtbags home game by none other than famous and professional organist Dieter Rule, who is also an organist for the LA Dodgers. Thank you so much to Natalie Lopez. A big shout out to her for providing us with this amazing audio. See you guys soon. Until next time.